crazy throws to inciting terrific drives, these are 10 times Tom Brady humiliated his opponents.
Bang! Jeremy Lin from downtown, and the Knicks take the lead!
To start off, we'll go all the way back to the 2004 AFC Championship. Brady's incredible offseason form was a day one superpower, as he had won his first 7 playoff games that year. Then came the 8th. Brady and the Patriots would go to Pittsburgh to face one of the only 2 sides they didn't beat earlier that season. With the immense tension in the air and the anticipation from his opponents and their fans to see his streak come to an end, Brady went down with the flu just a day before the game and had a temperature of 103 degrees. Before the game started, a fan held up a sign that read, "The streak looks weak." But by the time Brady stepped on the field, the only thing that looked weak was the Steelers side. Throwing for a 60-yard touchdown just as the game started, he immediately gave his side 10 points, and the Pates maintained the victorious tempo all game. Winning by 14 points, Brady made it to his 3rd Super Bowl, and more importantly, keep the fierce 0-8 streak. The Super Bowl 49 was another chance for Brady to showcase his amazing talent, and just as usual, he didn't shy away from it. It was a match set between the fierce attack of the Patriots against the locked-up defense of the Seahawks. During most of the game, the Seahawks dominated the game completely, and by the end of the 3rd quarter, they led the game 14-24 against their opponents. Well, that lead was just for the first 3 quarters, as 37-year-old Tom Brady turned up in the 4th quarter, leading his side to an almost impossible comeback and throwing 2 touchdown passes to give his side the victory. The Super Bowl 49 was most famous for Malcolm Butler's touchdown interception on Wilson, but there was no doubt on who bossed the game. That wasn't the only Super Bowl game Brady cooked in. The first time either of the competing sides played on home soil was in the Super Bowl 55. The Raymond James Stadium was the stage for the matchup between the Buccaneers and the Chiefs. But home advantage wasn't what pushed the odds on the Bucs. It was Brady. He reminded the world why he is the greatest player to grace the gridiron that weekend, throwing for 3 touchdowns as his side owned the Chiefs 31-9. Brady was the MVP for the 5th time in the Super Bowl and wore his 7th ring that night. Talk about excellence, am I right? The tuck rule game is a historical one in NFL history, and Brady was an important part of it. During a snowy AFC divisional playoff game between the Patriots and the Raiders, Tom Brady's side had to drive down the field to get a game-time field goal. Just before glory, Tom Brady got stripped of the ball, and it looked like a decisive possession for the Raiders. Well, not until the now-defunct tuck rule came in to save the game, as Brady had started a forward pass before the interception, making it incomplete. Brady took it to himself to make up for the near mistake, setting up the game-time field goal and the much-needed game-winning goal. Regardless of how iconic the tuck rule game was, this list can't be complete without having Brady's last season in it. The 2021 regular season was the final time the NFL would have Tom Brady's aura stinking all over it. And to round off, Brady ended with immense style. After 22 seasons, he came that year to break every single record in his line. Most career stats, the passing yards and passes completed. He even became the first NFL star to open the 600 club, racking up a career total of 600 career touchdown throws. He decided to give himself a King Sentforth, deepening his already immortalized name in NFL history. In his final game, he rallied his side back from a 24-point deficit to the Rams with only 42 seconds to play. Although the Bucs lost that day, Brady made it clear that he was a forever force with a legacy to be reckoned with. In 2022, Week 5 of the regular season, Brady and the Buccaneers faced a Bears side that had the outstanding Nick Foles coordinating the game's tempo at quarterback. Well, unlike most days, it wasn't quite a perfect time for Tom Brady in the office, as he had an appalling performance in that game. The Bucs eventually lost 20-19, and after the game, Tom Brady snubbed the post-match handshakes and went straight to the locker room. This caused quite a stir on social media, as this wasn't the first time Brady would pull a stunt like that on Foles. Back in 2017, after Foles and his Eagles dominated the Patriots, Brady also avoided the chance of shaking hands with his quarterback counterpart after the game. Years later, when asked about his handshake situation with Foles during an interview, Brady had this to say: "I've shaken Nick's hand plenty of times though. I've got a lot of respect for Nick. Sometimes I get a little pissed out there, but for the most part, I try to be a good sport." Brady might claim to be a good sport, but it's clear that he doesn't enjoy being the second best at what he does. This wasn't the only time he was seen snubbing quarterbacks after games, cause months after his controversy with Foles, Brady was at the end of some serious heat after the Buccaneers' loss against the Rams. The Bucs went down 24-27 to an LA Rams team that had their midfield controlled by the young Jared Goff. After the game, Goff made his way to the midfield to have a moment with Brady, who he surely might have held high as an idol. But when he got there, Brady was nowhere to be found. Brady and Goff, however, had met themselves at the Super Bowl 53, with the 17 years older superstar having the upper hand in that matchup. Sometimes, however, Tom Brady doesn't wait till actions are taken. Even predictions of his failure makes him angry. Like in 2007, Brady's Patriots were to go up against the Steelers. The Pates were in an undefinable form and every opponent's nightmare, with a 12-0 streak in the league. Well, this didn't stop the young second-year Steelers safety, Anthony Smith, to throw a little bit of shade at the Patriots, as he called the game during the pre-match conference a guaranteed victory for his side. Damn! The Patriots weren't quite happy with this, and when they got on the gridiron, they played the ball of their lives, edging over their opponents 34-13. The Pates not only humbled the Steelers, but made Smith the face of shame. Every play, pass, drive, swerve, and touchdown came from the exploitation of Smith's area on the gridiron. Randy Moss caught a 63-yard touchdown running past Smith, and the Patriots' second score came through a double pass play on Smith. After Tom Brady made his first pass for a touchdown, he rushed down the field to find Smith and chirped right down in his face. And for Smith, he never recovered from that amount of mistakes, as he was benched for the rest of the season and unfortunately never recovered back from that fall in his career. In 2010, in an intense game between the Lions and the Patriots, the lads from Detroit were absolutely dominant. Bossing the game from the first quarter till the third, there was literally no way for Patriots from the heavy hits. Well, everything turned around after Alphonso Smith decided to trouble steady waters as he waved his finger at Brady, the GOAT, after intercepting a play of his just before the third quarter came to an end. Brady took it personally. Entering the fourth quarter like a man possessed, Brady threw 4 passes to aid his side's comeback and steal the win from the Lions. To make it harsher, all 4 passes were through the defensive side of Smith. Brady came into that quarter and literally said, "I'm him." But everyone already knows what he said to the Titans' coach, Mike Vrabel, and it was absolutely savage. Tom and Vrabel played ball together for 8 years in New England, and it's fair to say they had some of the best moments of their careers during their time repping the Pates, winning 3 Super Bowls and being one of the most dominant eras in NFL history. Vrabel, however, dropped his helmet in 2010. To take the job as the coach of the Tennessee Titans, giving the side a different kind of groove in their play, and life to his and Brady's rivalry. Both men don't miss out on throwing shades at each other when the avenue arises, and the most recent and hardest came from Brady in 2021, during an episode of the Bucs podcast, In the Current. When asked about his former teammate, Brady described him as fat and out of shape. Come on, Brady, give the old man a break. Well, that's it for today. Make sure to subscribe to our channel for more amazing videos.